This is your macroeconomics video, reading charts and graphs. So as we have come to a couple of charts and graphs at the bottom of each on your guided notes, please make sure to figure out how to read the graph properly, come up with a statement on what the data is telling us in general, and then maybe some specifics. So this graph here is looking at household income by quintile. Quintile is 20% or broken down into 5 categories. Typically, the upper income, the highest 20% of income earners in a country, we call those the rich or the wealthy. The next 20% we call the upper middle class. The middle 20% we call the middle class. The following 20% is the working class, and the bottom 20% of income holders are the poor. So if you look at the 5 quintiles, they are the colored lines there. This black dotted line is the top 5% alone. So the black dotted line is actually part of the bright blue line. But you're noting that the upper 5% have seen their incomes grow exponentially compared to almost everybody else at the bottom 95% of income earners in the United States. This chart really points out what a lot of people are concerned about with income inequality. After you adjust for inflation, a lot of people are working harder, they're working more hours, they have more education than they've ever had before. They spent a lot of money on college educations, but they're not actually earning more money based on that. The people that are earning the most money are the wealthy who have lots of money left over, and they can therefore save that money in the stock market through stocks and bonds. Because the stock market has done fairly well in the last 20 or even 50 years, people who have enough money to save significant portions of their wealth in the stock market have seen significant gains. But those people who work a job, like you're a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or a teacher, have not seen their incomes rise despite being more experienced, more educated, and working longer hours. This next chart, the title reads Labor Force Participation Rates of Selected Age and Gender Groups. It is also seasonally adjusted, which means that it does not include increased hiring for the Christmas season or for the summer season. Sometimes people are hired to do things like work at water parks or ski slopes in the winter, for which after the season is over, they are laid off. So you can see that there are 2 blue lines representing women, younger women and older women, and then 2 lines representing men, younger men and older men. Go ahead and on your guided notes, tell me what you think this is saying in general, and then come up with some specifics or some things that you think are interesting. Remember that the shaded areas are recessions. This third graph is income varies widely across racial and ethnic groups in the United States. So again, this is broken down by median household income by race or ethnicity. In this particular chart, they are only categorizing people in 4 various racial or ethnic groups. So again, when we categorize people by race, this is fairly arbitrary because there's lots of people who are of mixed race who don't really fit into any of these 4 particular ones that this particular chart is talking about. So categorizing people by race and ethnicity also is not the same from country to country or even from government form to government form. So this one is 2018. And it's adjusted for inflation. So up in the upper right-hand corner where it says in parentheses 2018 dollars, that means it's been adjusted for inflation according to the value of the dollar in 2018. So this does not include inflation. All right, now active learning number 4. You have 3 scenarios. In each of these scenarios, I want you to tell me what happens to the unemployment rate. Does it go up, down, or stay the same? And then, does this scenario give you an accurate impression of what's going on in the labor market? Sometimes we assume that when the unemployment rate is high, that the economy is in recession or doing poorly. And when the unemployment rate goes down, that's a sign that the economy is getting better. But that's not always true. So try to figure out what's going on with each of these three scenarios.